everybody. Welcome to another episode of Carolyn Talks Television. I'm Carolyn Topol, and here is my super terrific co-host, Rachel Arnett.
Hello. I like the new adjectives.
Yes, I'm trying real hard to get creative in my descriptives.
I like it.
Especially because there are writers back in the writing rooms.
We have to really up our game.
Yeah. The writers are back. The actors are back, which I was beginning to wonder if we would see in 2023. So, yay.
Yes.
Yay.
Shout out to Fran Drescher and the team.
Really. For those who don't remember, Fran Drescher is the president of SAG-AFTRA. So there she goes, and she was a powerhouse. Wow, that I've always known she is a woman with some semblance of power and self-esteem in that respect that she cultivated over the years. But wow. Talk about protecting your own, protecting the cubs. She was really out there. Hello.
Yep.
So anyway, but for us as the viewers, yay.
TV back.
TV back and
New TV back.
New TV back, yes. And today, Rachel and I are going to chat about what we're looking forward to now that the writers are scrambling because there was no season premieres. And I don't know how many of you know, like we talked about the glory of reruns and nostalgic reruns and all those other things in streaming. But it's going to be really nice to see a show that was developed and written in the United States because the British shows were out there on the streaming networks. And is going to play fresh a new season. I'm really looking forward to it. And if you don't mind, Rachel, I'm going to start with my two shows.
Absolutely.
That I always love to watch. It's been so long. I think they're both Thursday night shows, folks, on CBS, a real network too, not a streaming service.
Which is in of itself kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and it's Young Sheldon and Ghosts. Both of those shows have so much to offer, and watching them in repeat was fun the first time. They're not so much fun over and over again, and then when they tried to insert the British version of Ghosts, which is where the show was created from, I don't love those things. I didn't love it when they did it with The Office, when I watched the original. When I saw The Office in the United States versus The Office from the UK.
Yeah, very different humor sensibilities. Like the humor on The Office US obviously was more in tune with what we typically would find funny and references and things like that. It can be hard sometimes to watch the original just because of that.
And I think the other thing is, one of the things about people in the U.S., and I'm almost thinking even more so now with so much drama happening in the United States domestically and how we are connected with things happening abroad, people in the U.S. want something sweet and loving and something that makes you smile, not with a big guffaw necessarily, but feels good. Which is why, if you think about it, shows like Ghosts in the United States and Young Sheldon, but many shows in the United States, and The Office was like this in the United States, incorporate romance right from the get-go.
And it's something that
It's an American thing.
Yeah, that's true. When I look at some of the import versions that we've done in the States, that's true. We add more romance. I think there's more expressive drama as opposed to like internal drama. A lot of European shows, the pain and the drama and trauma are very internalized.
Yes, I agree.
Whereas the U.S. drama, someone punches Jim in the face, and we create it that way. It's more of a gladiator style.
Right. Watch that birthday cake fall on the floor.
Exactly.
Before anybody gets to blow out the candles and eat it. Right. Okay. So what is something that you are looking forward to seeing? I'll give Rachel time to
I
Give her
need as much Abbott Elementary now as we can get. I'm so excited because, I mean, that show literally couldn't go on. The writers were also acting and producing and directing and casting. So really couldn't do very much of anything. And I really don't think they did much of anything at all other than think, because Quinta, who's a main writer on the show and also the star and creator of the show, can't do any of her jobs.
All I thought about was watching her roller skate from one side of the union to the management, because Quinta Brunson is executive producer or producer?
Executive producer and creator.
So she's sitting on both sides of the fence, and I think what she literally did was just remove herself because she empathized.
Well, and she's a writer on the show too, so she, with the writing and acting, she was removed.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
And I guess I'm also just excited for new things. I think right now, and I'm not against it necessarily. We're getting a lot of reboots and a lot of even things that, like, they're appealing to the millennials now.
Yeah.
'Cause we're the main consumer group now that they're appealing to. So we're getting Cobra Kai, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want like 40 more Cobra Kais.
And you know what? And you also said rebooting. Quantum Leap was an incredibly creative show. What was it, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Or maybe even 40 years ago, probably.
Yeah, and it spawned so many copycats.
Quantum Leap.
Again.
In 2022, they started it, I guess, and then it took a break, and now will be coming back soon. I'd love to see some more creativity. And speaking of that, you really gave me a wonderful segue. I would really like to see, especially on the networks where no one has to pay extra money for them, if they can possibly do this, more ensemble shows. I'd like to see new ensemble shows where a writer comes in and says, I've got an idea for a new show, and a network gives it a shot. And I'll tell you, like shows like This Is Us. That was a brilliant show. No episode went without some moment where you were like, oh. Because you always thought that you could predict what was going to happen, and you couldn't. And that was something what they did.
With a creative writer's room.
With a really creative writer's room, and it was on regular network TV, so anybody who has a television can turn it on and watch it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to pay for it in addition. I admire streaming. I subscribe to a couple of the streaming networks. But even I just can't rationalize doing them all because I don't have enough time to watch that all. As much as I like shows, there's just so much I can watch. And for example, speaking of This Is Us, Justin Hartley, one of the stars of This Is Us.
One of the triplets.
Yes.
Okay, because I never watched the show, but I always picked up bits and pieces of information from him. Kevin, okay.
Triplet Kevin.
Who was also on soap operas.
Who was on soap operas before that. Particularly The Young and the Restless, where he was really a shining star on that show.
Okay. So Justin Hartley.
Justin Hartley has a new show. I have seen the ads.
Oh.
Coming out on CBS this time, called Tracker. And he gets to these adventures, and clearly he's the hero who's going to help either find or help people find people or lost ones or whatever's. And I'm engaged.
Okay.
It's new. You got me. I'm in. And you're giving me a star that I know has been successful in bringing a new show and riding it out, the whole arc of it. Yeah.
Episode 1 to the final one.
That's right. And giving me reasons to want to see that person on the air. It wasn't like, oh, is he in this episode? Oh, well. No, I never felt that way.
Yeah.
That was a great ensemble on This Is Us. I'm hoping he will lead this show. He's clearly the star of it, So we'll see if it's an ensemble show. Don't know enough yet.
The shows like that really can go either way.
Yeah.
You can have a show like The Blacklist, where it really is just about there are other characters, but it's really about two characters.
Yeah.
And then a poorly planned offshoot that really didn't go well, but led to New Amsterdam, which is fine.
Okay.
Ryan Eggold on New Amsterdam. Anyway, my brain's going everywhere. But you can also have ones, like you're saying, that are just so many interesting characters. You can have a Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Whether it's a comedy or a drama, every character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, within the first couple of episodes, really within the first episode, I felt like I understood those characters. And I do think that's a little easier with comedies than dramas, because in comedy you can find moments of personality in anything, whereas a drama is more deep background information.
Well, and I'm going to go out here and date myself a little bit.
It's okay.
And I bet some of you are thinking these things. A couple of shows that a single central character really was the show and had peripheral support characters, but if they weren't on a given week,
you wouldn't notice them.
You wouldn't be like, oh, he wasn't on, why? You wouldn't feel that way. So, for example, I'm going to say Angela Lansbury in Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
It didn't matter when she lived in New York. It didn't matter when she was in Cabaco. It didn't matter when she was on the road.
She was the star.
Tours.
Yeah.
She was the star and made the show. And she made it, and sometimes other characters were certainly recurring. She had a ton of recurring characters. But she was the one.
Okay.
And when there was a period of time she was actually not on the air, she would introduce an episode and say, I remember when my friend so-and-so did this, and it was a period of time that was very difficult in her life. They did publicly say her son had been having significant issues and she needed to take time off to be with him. So she would introduce other things. Those are the shows I never rewatch.
The ones that don't have her.
That don't have her in it other than to introduce the episode. Another show, things like The Rockford Files.
That I will say
it was one focused character, many years on the air. Shows like that were dramas that were successful.
Yeah. I feel like you really have, it takes a special person to be able to carry a single person focused drama. Because
I agree.
As much as some people will tell you comedy is harder than drama because it's about timing and practice and all of the things. But I think your acting skills really have to be up to par, or people aren't going to watch.
Yeah, you have to be believed.
You have to be role. So believable in that role, whether you're loved or hated in that role.
That makes. I totally agree. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right.
To truly carry a show. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's a wish of mine. I want a show, and I don't know whether it's a drama or comedy, where the main character is so good that I couldn't care less about anybody else, and I'm just drawn in. I would love a show where I can just get absorbed into a character.
I think that's, I hope that we get some of those. Yeah. I don't think it's hard because there's talent out there.
So much.
And I mean, that's why I'm hoping, that's why I particularly thought of this show, is that clearly they're banking on Justin Hartley.
Yeah.
Because he was a standout character on This Is Us. When Kevin was in scenes, he was very different from his siblings. I mean, all the siblings were different, of course, but his emotional journey, people really, really wanted to follow that and see where it led. I think almost a little bit more than the other two, but it was an outstanding ensemble cast, let's face it. But I think he's got the chops. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, to try and carry it.
Absolutely. And I think with these ensemble shows, I agree with you. I'd like to see some good ones, and I'd like to see some that are exploring people or environments that we don't often see. Like one of the reasons why Abbott Elementary was so good is because there are other in-school shows, but there was none framed as like a mockumentary style. And I just think that we could get some ensemble shows that, I don't know, The Bear is so phenomenal because there's nothing else like it on TV.
That's right. That's right.
So it doesn't have to be The Bear, which is another insane ensemble cast, but something else. I don't know. I want something new and something.
That was a mockumentary.
Yeah.
It really was. It's the same idea. In fact, it's a very creative way to write.
Yeah, absolutely. And it allows you to create a narrative, I think, very easily, because in the same way a documentary creates a narrative, you're able to develop characters from a third person, and it makes us feel as the viewer like we're discovering these things about the characters.
Something else that I would like to see, and I'm not sure, to be honest, I haven't done a lot of research about it. Jeopardy has spent basically this entire first few months of what is this current season inviting back former winners,
lots of them,
to do wild card spots for their Tournament of Champions, which still hasn't happened, which is amazing to me since we're about to be 2024. And I was discussing this with some others who basically had the same opinion as me, is that this past year, anybody who's on Jeopardy is really smart.
Absolutely.
That goes without saying. But the Jeopardy people that were on the air this past year could not sustain, as in previous years. So I really don't think they had too many multiple day winners.
Oh, okay.
So what they're doing is they're bringing back people who won 2 to 4 days, particularly during COVID time, and during times that they had super winners. And there was this series of super winners that happened during that period of time. Yeah. I don't know if you recall. And now what they're doing is giving these people sort of a second chance. Is what it is. It's a second chance wild cards. And filling up the Tournament of Champions. I did not realize how many there were, and the way that they're doing it is very lengthy rounds and rounds and rounds.
I was going to say, I feel like we saw the same 3 people all of last week, if not more than.
And you didn't, but it feels like it because you're introducing season 37 and 38 people over and over and over again, and it's starting to get like.
Do they have any fun facts left?
Can we have some new shows?
That'd be fun.
I mean, these are new shows, but can we have some new contestants? I'd like to start the new season, from where I would start it, from scratch, if I was a contestant now.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they can find people out there. Maybe they really are challenged to find people willing to put themselves out. Big question mark. So Jeopardy, if you're listening, give us something new. We're ready. We're ready. Yeah.
And interestingly enough, Euphoria, you don't have to give us anything new. You can stop where you are, please. Euphoria, I absolutely loved the first season. Second season was a little messy, but okay. Unfortunately, with Angus Cloud passing away, with Barbie Ferrer leaving the show, and there being a lot of controversy, I'm not eager for a third season. I'm okay with all of the unanswered questions and the weird things that didn't quite make sense, because it felt a little bit like a COVID fever dream. But I really think we should stop there.
Oh dear.
I don't know that the first season was incredible. Second season was a struggle. I don't know that the third season would be able to overcome the struggle of the second season. So one of my wishes is that Zendaya moves on to even more incredible projects that she can produce and create characters and be involved, because her work and all of the actors' work and it was brilliant.
Brilliant work.
And brilliant, and it should stop.
Okay, and they were all recognized by the award shows. It wasn't like this was
no. Sydney Sweeney's work was incredible on the show, and she's been in White Lotus now and nominated for White Lotus and she's moving on. She's got a new movie coming out. Dominic Fike is doing amazing things. Hunter Schafer was just in the Hunger Games movie.
It's an interesting show because they'll give you a different setting each season, and it gets creative, and you have a core couple of people.
Well, like, yes and no. Like, I don't know how to address that without major spoilers. So, I don't know. But yes and no.
Okay, what is it, Jennifer Coolidge?
Yes. She is a thread between the first and second season.
Yes, she
but
is.
She's really the only one.
Yeah, true. But White Lotus is interesting in creative writing.
Oh, and it's so good.
Now, the other thing I would love to see is, and I've seen it, I've seen the promos. I do subscribe to HBO.
Okay.
I do have some. That's one of the things I do with my TV service. Is I have HBO. HBO looks like they're actually going to give us a whole lot of new originals.
Oh, I've really enjoyed a lot of the HBO
the HBO originals. You know, there's a lot of originals out there, and lately the HBO originals just do that one step above on a lot of them.
Well, I think they to me kind of, as a network, really started pushing the line on programming and things that could be done on television.
I agree with
HBO really, for me, in the States anyway, I can't speak to other countries, really, at least even as a child, I felt like it was a network that pushed the envelope. And
even
then
the movies they showed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Would never be seen on network in their full length, and you got to see the real movie.
And I think streaming networks now have taken a lot of that on. Netflix, anything goes on Netflix. Same thing with Hulu, same thing with Paramount Plus and all of them. But I think HBO is more discerning about their projects, because Netflix will have 150 new shows out tomorrow, but you'll enjoy like 3.5. And like one of them only with French subtitles, because the English subtitles are terrible. So for me, I think that's a really good. I'd be more interested in the HBO one sometimes.
I'm going to tell you right now, there are standout shows on HBO. So rather than making 60 new originals, like you said, like Netflix will come out with 150 shows tomorrow, there are shows, and they're getting recognized as quality pieces. Mm-hmm. I'm hooked on The Gilded Age. And the other thing about it is when HBO releases a series, they release it in the old style of series.
One at a time. Yep.
One a week.
House of the Dragon is coming back.
House of the Dragon will be back. That's right.
And people are beyond excited, because the first season brought a lot of people back to that first couple of season Game of Thrones energy.
And once again, once a week. Let the people watch, enjoy, and look forward.
Mm-hmm. And breathe.
To the next show.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, one of the things that HBO Max, which is now just called Max, and I'm like, it sounds like they're calling, here Max, come puppy. You know, sorry. I liked what they called it HBO Max as an offshoot, because they also programmed like that. Now they're trying to program more like Netflix. But that's where they did do certain styles, though, where it's only one a week.
Okay.
Or a couple a week, which was the other thing that was interesting. They will be coming out with a new season in a while and Just Like That, the sequel to Sex and the City.
Okay.
And I do follow that. It's actually good, and the stars are in it. And the other thing that they're showing, I'm going blank. I'll come back to it at some point.
Well, I know that there's a lot of talk about HBO series right now in general. Succession just ended.
Oh my God, it just got so many Golden Globe
Between
noms.
that and Barbie. It was like all the Golden Globes. Sorry, that's not TV. But it literally was like Barbie and Succession and Barbie and Succession.
On Netflix, so I can just watch it for 100 years.
Highly recommend it. Oh, you saw it?
No. I never got to the theater when Barbie was in there.
Is Carolyn about to talk movies? No. No, because she didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
But The Last of Us, which is based on a video game, not only is being recognized for that, but is also being recognized by Video Game Awards as one of the best TV adaptations of a video game ever.
Which is hilarious.
Oh, it's amazing. And the combination of Pedro Pascal, and the younger actor, whose name I can't remember at the moment, Bella.
Okay.
Their chemistry is so palpable on the show, and each of them individually, every episode, it's another one of those ensemble shows that's really just about those two people.
Right.
Because it's a zombie show, so people are going to come and go pretty frequently. Spoiler alert.
And
zombies.
The one thing that is sad, though, I will say, is that a lot of the shows out there that are good are on premium channels, like HBO's and Showtime. Excuse me, Showcase is the Canadian version of it.
Oh, cool.
Which you get too. If you get Showtime, you're going to get Showcase also. Just like HBO, you buy HBO. There's like 8 HBOs. I have no idea what they all mean.
HBO Dose, HBO Trace,
whatever they are. HBO, you watched it at 2. It's coming here at 6. So just if you missed it earlier, we're getting it for you. Just DVR it later. But the premium channels and the streaming networks. My one pet peeve is I wish we'd see more on TV that doesn't cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because while you and I are fortunate enough to have some, if not all of these streaming services or premium channels that come with our,
a lot
cable
of people
packages.
do not have access.
A lot of people do not have access to anything besides the more basic levels. And I think that's sad. So I'm going to say this at once. Just like you watch us on YouTube, folks, check out YouTube. A lot of times there's the free element of YouTube that just might have something show up that was somewhere else before it. I have no idea if that's true. Enjoy what you can. Enjoy the new season that's coming up starting in January 2024.
Yes.
And we're going to wish you a happy holiday from Carolyn Talks Television, from my dear
Rachel. Bye.
and me. We will see you in the next year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.